Bootcamp. Happy Friday. This is a Mentality Bootcamp rant, okay? If you are a people pleaser, a recovering people pleaser, or you have issues setting boundaries, this video is for you. Let's get into it. As a recovering people pleaser, boundaries tend to be more difficult for me. But over the past 3 years, I have gotten much better at setting them, recognizing where a boundary needs to be set and how to do it. As a recovering people pleaser, I've had to learn what the boundaries are and how to set them in a respectful manner, because let's be real, you can set boundaries and you can do it respectfully, where people are going to be less upset about the boundary, or you can do it in a crass way and you'll probably get more harsh feedback from that. I have done it both ways, so I know it's important to recognize what a boundary is and how to go about setting it, and realizing what boundaries you might need for yourself. So in the past, probably in the past 3 years is when I've really been working on this, and it really comes down to just trying to create a life that I'm happy about and excited to live, while still doing the things that I have to do. Because, I mean, in life, we all have things that we have to do, whether we like it or not, right? And this has to do with relationships, with work, and just all aspects of your life. You have to know what your boundaries are, what you are willing to do and not do, and where the line is. And that's difficult if you don't ask yourself and look at your life and say, where do I need the boundaries? So take relationships, for example. God, I'm going to put myself on blast here. I had this tendency to give more of myself than what I was receiving. And that just makes me a giver. Where the downfall is it's detrimental to mental health, and it's detrimental to your self-respect. It's detrimental to yourself. Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect. It is a form of self-love. Setting a boundary doesn't have to be so brutal as, okay, take for example, you have somebody who's late for a date, okay? It doesn't have to be as brutal as, I'm never going to see you again. Like, how dare you be an hour late or whatever. But it's also not like, oh, that's totally okay. I totally understand. Find a middle ground. Like, if something happened, out of our control, okay, cool. But next time, I'm not going to sit there and wait for you. Like, if you're late, then, I'm going to go about my business. Okay? Period. And take work, for example. That's another aspect that many people don't know how to set boundaries for. There's so many people who have a job where they take their job home and they don't have a work-life balance, or they put everything into their job and they have this mentality of, oh my gosh, if I say no, or I'm not going to do this, or, I don't compromise and I'm always available at every beck and call for work, then, they're going to hate me and I'm going to lose my job and my life's going to go to shit because of it. Like, that's a down spiral. And that's not the case. Be discerning about when you say no and be able to compromise if that's an option. But if it is something you are a set boundary where you're like, I can't compromise this, then the boundary is just saying no. You don't owe anybody an explanation. And if you do give an explanation and they're not happy with it, that's not on you, okay? Looking at my life, saying, okay, this is where I'm not okay. If this happens, I can't be doing this. I'm not going to allow you to cross this boundary. That's easy. You can look at your life and say, okay, I'm going to have a boundary here, 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 here. Cool. The hard part is sticking to it. It's all down to self-love. The hard part, especially when it comes to people we care about, not just love relationships, but family, is saying no. Because you care about these people. You want to help them. You want to be there for them and support them in any way that you can. Until you can't. And I'm telling you, that is a-okay. I'm about to be right back. Where was I? I was talking about the easy part and the hard part. Easy part is deciding where to set those boundaries in your life. Hard part is sticking to them and making sure that people in your life do not cross those boundaries. If you don't keep to your boundaries, other people are not going to stick to them either. Utilizing and making sure you are firm with your boundaries is so important, because if you are used to letting people blur the lines, that can be detrimental to your mental health. And here, another personal example. For the past 3 or 4 months, I had been letting my boundaries get blurred at work. When I said I needed time off, or I needed to have this not work in this time period, that was not the case. And because I had let it slip before, other people thought it was okay to go ahead and ask that and go ahead and do that and cross that boundary because I would say yes. I had a nervous breakdown because I was working so much. I was pushing my limits. I find each year I get more stronger with my boundaries, and I'm like, okay, no. If somebody gets upset with you for setting a boundary, don't overanalyze it, don't overthink it. This is a point where you have to be okay with letting people down or having people be upset with you. Your job is not to make people happy. The only person you are responsible for their happiness is yourself. You have no obligation to keep other people happy. If they have an issue with your boundary, seriously, fuck it. You have to learn to let that go. Y'all may not like what I'm about to say, but here's the thing. You are the only person responsible for making sure that your boundaries are not crossed. If they pester you and you get on there and you end up saying yes, that, my friend, is on you. It is still on you to say no. It is on you to say, this is my boundary. I do not care how upset you're going to get. I am sorry if this puts you in an uncomfortable position, but I can't. Okay, here's an example. Again, a real life example. For my own personal life, there are people who like to tell me about events and things like the day before. And this is in my personal life. Like the day before something happens. Like I don't even have 24 hours to process what's happening. That doesn't give me enough time to plan. I have let these people know, if you want me to be there for something, you have to give me a heads up. That is a boundary that I have set in my life. I am not when it comes to my personal life and what I'm doing, I'm not that flexible. I'm not. And people in my life know this. You want me to be there for something. When you find out about it, tell me. If you don't, sorry. If you have made it abundantly clear, that is on them. And then you might, depending on how severe it is, you might get a little attitude about it. I have definitely gotten an attitude about it before. It's hard for me because these are people I care about, and normally these are things that I would like to be a part of or do, and I will be quite honest with you, they have gotten much better at it. But when I first said that, there were things that I did not go to because they didn't give me enough heads up, and I'm like, I have other things to do. So long story short, set your boundaries for yourself. This people pleasing is a hard thing to get over because the root of it starts at such a young age. In childhood, that's where the root of all of these behavioral aspects of one's personality stems from. It makes it really hard to change. So that is my little rant for today. I will see you later.